Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me here at Unapologetically Progressive. Let's talk about those tariffs. Now, yesterday, most of the tariffs, all except the tariffs that were put on China, were lifted yesterday for 90 days, delayed for 90 days, I guess you could say, to see if the Trump administration decides to change their mind. The problem is it was only a temporary pause, which still has the markets kind of rattled, even though the stock market did improve afterwards. After the announcement that he was pulling back on all tariffs except for the ones on Chinese imports, the stock market did pretty well, but it still came back within 3,000 points shy of what it had lost over the 4 or 5 days before that, since Trump's announcement of these insane tariffs. The damage is already done. Economists are saying that the economy is already going to take a strong hit, most likely leading to recession and possibly worse. This has already destroyed the world economy, the faith that the world had in the United States, for example. The United States is known for a few things, being the responsible ones, for example, right? Paying our bills on time, making sure the lights stay on, make sure our debts get paid, even for just making payments on the interest, right? We're supposed to be the stable ones, along with our allies over in Europe. We're supposed to be stable. One of our biggest trading allies has been China. Now, are they military allies? No, but they're one of our biggest trading partners in the entire world. But Trump pulled back on these tariffs, making the markets inch up a little bit, and a lot of people were happy. The question a lot of people have is why? Why would he all of a sudden pull back? Well, there's a few reasons for it. One, his billionaire friends didn't like that they were losing money. Plain and simple. Billionaires don't like losing their money. Elon Musk was having a bit of a beef, I guess you could say, with Donald Trump over it because he came out over the weekend saying there should be zero tariffs between the U.S. and Europe. Right? And Trump has, come to blows with Elon over tariffs since he announced these tariffs. Elon is even threatening to apparently leave Doge and leave everything behind to go back to Tesla because of how bad Trump has basically stained his business empire. Yeah, people are mad about things Elon has done, but look at what he's done for Trump. Honestly, if Elon didn't get involved in that election last year for Donald Trump, simply because he hates his transgender daughter, Trump would have never won that election. Elon is the reason he won that election. We'll talk about more why when I have more information. But the fact is, Elon played a big part in Trump's election last year. And when Elon said, hey, this isn't right, this isn't going to work, then Trump backed off. A lot of his other billionaire friends, too. The CEO of JP Morgan, Mr. Jamie Dimon, I believe his name is, was not happy about it. And a lot of business people weren't happy about it. Economists were baffled. So not as many products are going to be as high as quickly, but some products are going to go ahead and go up anyway. I've already seen some products that I tend to enjoy, like, for example, beverages. Literally, the day Trump announced the tariffs, I was paying $6.86 for a 12-pack of Coca-Cola. When I made my grocery list this last week and checked up the prices and everything, a 12-pack of Coca-Cola was no longer $6.86. A 12-pack of Coca-Cola was over $1 more at $7.92. Same thing for Dr. Pepper and most Mountain Dew products. That's just one product. I haven't looked at others because my list this last weekend wasn't very big. Just a few staples and we were done. Um, Other prices are going to go up. Economists are saying that even though the market may be trying to recover from it, that the markets don't really tell you the whole story. That recession is going to end up being the end result of what's going on. I read earlier from um, a conservative article from, I believe, Fox News, talking about conservative economists saying that a recession is now, almost guaranteed. The question will be how bad the recession will be. And let's talk about that a little bit, about recessions and how people think we've been in a recession, and we haven't been. Our economy's been booming since Biden took office. When Biden was in office, right, 2021, 2022, 2023, yeah, prices were high. Prices were exorbitantly high, mostly out of greed. But we weren't in a recession. High prices don't equate a recession. A fall in GDP is generally what signifies a recession. Because under Joe Biden, we got to where our economy was rocking and rolling. Wages were going up, jobs were going up. It's just how it is. And now we're threatened with actually going in a recession. What I find hilarious is through the entire time that Joe Biden was president, I kept seeing people on Twitter, even liberals, saying, we're headed for a recession, we're headed for a recession, we're headed for a recession. Every week on the news shows and all that stuff, I'd hear that we were headed for a recession. In those 4 years of Joe Biden, we didn't even get into a recession. I believe a recession is 3/4 of falling GDP. We didn't have that under Biden, at least from 22, 23, and 24. I don't believe it happened in 21 either. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. Please provide a link to that if you haven't. But the fact is, no matter what anyone thinks, no matter what you may have heard on conservative media or from different talking heads, the fact is these tariffs have not been good for the economy. They have not provided anything good for the American people, and it's done nothing but create havoc in the markets and volatility in prices. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road. I'll probably be back on Monday. I don't believe I'll have a time to make a video tomorrow. All right, thank you.